this is KRBrickBot, and I'll be reviewing Tobot V Mini Rocket, aka Shuttle. Yes, it looks like Tobot V is now starting to branch out into global marketing. Except it's being called
Tobot Galaxy Detective!
But I don't get some of the name changes for these Tobots when their original names suit them just fine. Shuttle, Sergeant Justice, Tank Man, Commander Universe. Next thing you know, they'll be calling Master V Master Galaxy, or Master Detective, or Master Universe. No wait, those last two don't make any sense. And this is my opinion, but I don't think the Elementary Detective Club makes a good franchise name. I mean, what's wrong with Tobot V? Oh right, they used it for an individual Tobot in the old series. Well, why not just call it by its full name, Tobot Victory? Is that too Asian or something? Anyway, back to the mini rocket. There's the portrait here with a very awkward looking scrunched tiny face that, because of the flat rendering, really accentuates those face wrinkles and lips. And like the other mini box, it's like a comic style with some very thick outlines and blue and this comic gradient. I'm sure you comic fans will know what this kind of style is called. Robot, vehicle. This side has the portrait view, the other side has also rocket, robot, vehicle, and the product info on the bottom. So this mini rocket is also a nice, evenly proportioned scaling down of the big rocket toy. But compared to that, it's really missing a lot of decals. For one, his arms and arm wings are completely jet black when the original character model and the bigger toy have white accents and such. And also some other blue and yellow accents that are missing. The head sculpt's also looking pretty great with a stoic look that is a black face with a white crest sunken in a astronaut-like helmet. And you can flip down the visor. Except it's completely opaque. There is no transparent plastic on this little thing. And this black visor makes him less like an Omega Supreme head and more like a astronaut mech or Asimo. Which is also a pretty nice protective battle mode look for him. Articulation. The arms have elbows, no biceps as usual. And the shoulders are on the most neutered, useless ball socket shoulders ever. Very little forward wiggle arm movement. Only the side to side. And these are really ball sockets. I mean, they could have just shaved off the plastic here so he could have some more free arm movement. If you want to do that, you're gonna have to file this down to size and risk damaging it if you really want to get this thing articulated. Anyway, he does have some, at least he has some nice soft ratcheted waist swivel for the transformation, and a back bend joint, ball socketed hips that go forward that much, back that much, limited splits, no thigh swivels except for the little ball socket wiggle, a soft ratcheted knee at 90 degrees, and that's it. It's decently articulated except for those neutered ball sockets. Why? Transforming rocket into shuttle mode or shuttle into shuttle mode? Flip down the visor if you haven't. Fold those arms back all the way until you hear a click. Turn the waist. Turn these ball-socketed shuttle halves around and click them in. Fold up those knees and then click them in. Simple transformation. Again, this is a very nice looking shuttle mode. A nice scaling down edition. The proportions look as close as they can to the big toy, except for the back piece here. The big toy has actually, this headpiece actually sits a little lower, and this fin is somehow oddly shortened and shrinkified. Oh, and he also has these unpainted feet that should be red that actually fold in the big toy, but since this lines up with the cockpit that much, that doesn't look too out of place. And of course, stark black wings with no white paint to break that up. And some very noticeable asymmetrical clips. The big toy, I think, had enough space to put in 2 clips in the calves, but since it's small, this only has 1 clip. So this is how they redesigned it. Just a nitpick. Well, at least from the back view, you won't have a robot looking behind. Unless you do this. And some non-functional landing gear. And as a collector, I have to nitpick about the lack of paint quality control on these things in general. For one, you can see how rough that black painted paint is there. And also on the nose cone. Also some stray smudges here and here that looks a little rough. I'm just really disappointed with Tobot V's paint quality control these days. But it is passable at least. Size comparisons. Siege barricade. Unite Warriors blast off. Master V rocket. Here you can see the size difference and also the long fin that has been shortened on this version. And Mini Speed and Mini Monster. And how they are compared to their Master V components. And the magnificent bastard that is Skylynx. And here's Mini Captain Police, aka Sergeant Justice. Somebody give me a reason how Captain Police could possibly infringe on copyright or some other legal thingy. Again, it's in this very flat-lined comic style with some magenta backgrounds. A nice bang with the render of the car. Portrait view here. Captain Police. Robot. Vehicle. Product information on the bottom here and here. Captain Police here is looking like a nice, perfectly scaled down rendition of the bigger model and toy. No chibi-fied proportions, I might add. There's his very stoic, police-like head sculpt with the police cap and the blue visor. And a big golden crest. Some overcompensating kibble shoulders. Some nice long sleek legs. A golden painted belt. And the dog toe key crest. Oh, and compared to the bigger toy, the kibble is sticking outward like this. The back doesn't really fold down, so that looks a little screwy, literally. Now, about the paint, I think there's a paint discrepancy, a different shade. If you can see here, the left side is all a slightly lighter shade of blue than this side. That's also noticeable on the dog crest. 2 different factories or 2 different settings. And compared to the model, he's really lacking a lot of gold accents. The only gold is on his crest and belt. Nowhere else on the robot mode. And he does not come with a shotgun accessory, nor any means to hold any. Unless you could shapeways a shotgun to fit into these transforming holes. Articulation. The head is fixed, absolutely no swivels, unlike the big toy. 2 shoulder joints, one for the transformation, other for some limited spread. Nice full 360. 2 arm joints, one at the transforming shoulder joint and one at the elbow. No bicep swivels, unlike the bigger toy. Forward that much, back that much, obstructed by the roof kibble. Very limited splits because of those very thick thighs. And no thigh swivel either. And 2 to 3 soft clicks at the knee and 2 to 3 soft clicks at the feet. Decently articulated, but not quite. Size comparisons, starting with the Super Smirky Mini Speed, Mini Monster, Mini Rocket, Siege Barricade, and Unite Warriors Blast Off. Captain Police and Rocket and the other 2 are perfectly scaled miniature deluxes. Transformation. This thing does not detach. So you can just flip it down in the chest. You don't have to worry about losing that. Fold the arms back. Slide the legs in. Well, actually, you would want to align the arms first so that they can slide into the little grooves here. Then slide those legs in. Tap it into those very big holes. Flip up the feet. Tap the arms into the holes on his belt. And flip forward this strut, this beam supporting it. Well, actually, you'll have to transform this first. Then put everything back in together and flip down the hood. And there's Captain Police. Captain Police's Hot Rod Police Car mode is scaled down perfectly for this scale. No changed proportions for the most part. It's really a police hot rod with that engine block and those big exaggerated exhausts and that super low profile, with some rear red lights and this engine block detail and such. But Captain Police here is the worst offender of skipping the paint applications that are advertised on the box but are actually not on the actual toy. I mean, he should have much more blue and gold accents instead of white, but they really skipped it. They really gave it only the minimal stuff. The only gold on the vehicle mode is on these little crests here. And there's this line is absolutely plain and white. And even more egregiously, the white, there is no white on the top of this car roof. And also no silver painted hubcaps, I might add. No gold accents here. And especially this V logo, this V Police logo is just absolutely plain here. I'm just really disappointed on how much detail they just skimped off of this thing, when they have the audacity to show a much more nicer looking one on the box. You're really gonna have to do some customizing if you want to get this into show accuracy. Size comparisons. Mini Speed, a smidge smaller than Captain Police. Mini Monster. Mini Rocket. Hello Carbot Skid. And Siege Barricade. Captain Police is a very nice, sizable, deluxe-sized car. Mini Rocket and Mini Captain Police are more great additions to the Tobot V Mini lineup. Of course, I would recommend these if you are interested in deluxe-sized Tobot V characters and not those big regular toys that are very expensive to import. Granted, if you really want these things to look show accurate, you're going to have to do a lot of painting and stickering for all these guys. That's all for the Tobot V mini line for now, but I would really like to see mini versions of Great Admiral, Tank Guy, and especially Big Trail and Troll. But I doubt they'll have enough budget to actually combine in that scale. And I think it's quite unlikely they'll release a Mini Master V and his Mini Master companions. Ultimate-wise, these do look reasonably scaled, but in the show, they're all about the same size, just like those wildly inconsistent vehicle mode scale Transformer Combiner teams. And will Young Toys really release the Redeco Tobot Vs in the Tobot V mini toy line? Only time will tell.
Thanks for watching. Please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to tune in for more Korean robot content. And until next time, this is KRBrickBot signing off.